Karma. The law of what you sow is what you reap. Believed by some, feared by many, and now the reality which I live. I was once the life of the party during my younger years. I truly believed that you only lived once, so I lived it up beyond all that I should have done. Daily partying and clubbing, alcohol, drugs, and sex with random men on the regular. I was enjoying my life, or so I thought. I have always been a beautiful girl, so finding new boyfriends after breaking up with my existing ones was never difficult for me. The boys thronged, and I was always able to have my pick. I would change men like underwear, never sticking to one for too long. I was always quick to let go as soon as they outlived their usefulness. Life, I felt, was good. The abortions, 10 of them. Decisions taken without thoughts of repercussions. Even when I had the 10th abortion and the nurse was trying to urge me to keep the baby, I could not bring myself to understand the gravity of what she was talking about. All I could think of was the fact that my mother would kill me. My fine girl status would reduce to nothing. And worse still, I had no one to own up to being the father of the baby. Still, I was young, and I felt that I had all my life ahead of me to take the right steps when I was ready. I am now 42 years old, married for 10 years without a child to call my own, waking up in a sweat every night from nightmares in which 10 pairs of accusing eyes stare deep into my soul. I know that I am being punished by God for the reckless life that I lived while in school. I knew that this was my own karma, even as my marriage fell apart. I knew God was flogging me with his 7-tongued whip. I and my husband were in court for our divorce proceedings. A divorce which I initiated because I now realized that there was no point in us staying together. This man loathed me. He blamed me for our childlessness and would tell anyone who cared to listen that I had recklessly aborted all the children in my womb. My mother-in-law was no less a thorn in my flesh, because as soon as her son told her the reason behind my fertility issues, she took it upon herself to frustrate me and also to urge her son to take a concubine. The concubine was the last straw. The lady got pregnant immediately she met my husband. Something that I had not been able to do for the 10 years that we had been together, she achieved in less than 1 month. My uselessness had been laid bare. There was nowhere for me to hide my face. Hence, divorce became my best option. I am a beautician, and my job is one of the few remaining things in my life that brought me some joy and happiness. Due to the nature of my business and the type of clientele that I have, I maintained a very busy social life. So after my divorce, I tried to get back into the dating game and possibly find a husband. Hey, I didn't. I couldn't find anyone willing to marry a barren 42-year-old. I met men who were interested in my body, others in my money, some in both, but none were willing to commit to being with me. One day I sat down and I thought about everything. What if I couldn't find a husband? Did that bar me from trying to achieve my dreams of being a mother? I had read extensively about IVF and I thought to myself that this was something I could just as well try. I did not need a man, I could use a donor sperm, have my children, and move on with my life. This became my plan. So I began making inquiries. I found out that IVF was going to be too expensive for me, so I opted for IUI, intrauterine insemination, where sperm cells were washed and inserted into a woman during ovulation, thus increasing the chances of successful fertilization and pregnancy. Before we began, the doctor advised that I use donor eggs. He said that my eggs were no longer in the best shape. However, I refused. I knew how easy it had been for me to get pregnant all those years ago. Me. One touch like this, one belly. So how could anyone say that those same eggs were not okay anymore? I stood my ground and had the first IUI procedure done. I ended up having 3 IUIs, all failed. My doctor said that this could be because my egg quality and ovarian reserve was low, but I did not see it that way. I saw it as a continuation of the punishment that God was meting out to me. I opted for IVF. I went through the whole process only to be told during egg retrieval that no eggs were found. No eggs. Okay. How? My doctor explained that, just as he had told me earlier, before starting the whole process, the issue with a low ovarian reserve was that one would see follicles, but it was possible for those follicles to simply be empty sacs with no eggs in them. I felt so bad. Number one, the money for the IUIs and the IVF was gone, just like that, with nothing to show for it. Number two, I was someone who used to pray that I would not fall pregnant, who used to avoid getting pregnant by all means, now facing all these trash talks about ovarian reserve or no eggs or something. I decided to take a break. 2 years to save up to continue following my dream. 2 years to consider all my options, whether it was advisable to try a new doctor or to stay with the one that I had initially used. After the 2 years were up, I returned to my doctor, but this time I chose to use donor eggs. I was told that the donors were carefully screened to make sure that only the best quality eggs were retrieved. Even the use of donor eggs was to me another form of karma. God had given me all those babies of my own all those years ago, but I killed them. I did not appreciate them as gifts from God. Now, I was reduced to using another woman's eggs. Chai, hey, how the mighty are falling. Finally, I was pregnant. Twins. Oh, I was so happy. I gave all my staff bonuses. I ran a crazily discounted celebratory sales bonanza. My joy knew no bounds because finally I had been forgiven. Or had I? The pregnancy progressed normally till the 13th week. That fateful day, I woke up to this feeling of wetness, like a river flowing between my thighs. I felt as if I was running mad while rushing to the hospital, where I was told that it was a threatened abortion. They gave me pills, injections, different medications to prevent me losing the babies in my womb. I even had to stay in the hospital on bed rest for a whole month. One morning, I suddenly felt this urge to poo. I could feel the pressure building as if feces wanted to fall out of my anus at any moment. But it was not true. It was my babies being spontaneously evacuated from my womb. They slid out all warm and bloody. At that moment, I could not even describe how I was feeling. God had given me a taste, and He had cruelly yanked it away from me. I was distraught. I was raving, pain seething deep within my heart. I looked at my babies, my boys, now lifeless, 18 weeks for nothing. I was devastated. I became depressed. I stopped going to work, stopped attending events, stopped taking people's calls. I could not even muster up the energy to bathe or get dressed. I wallowed in all my feelings of sadness, loss, inadequacy, pain. I drank myself to stupor every single day, and all my friends and family were scared for my continued safety. This went on until an old flame reached out to me. One of my old friends from my school days. He actually found me through our old school students' WhatsApp group, and we got talking. He was able to cajole me out of my house for a lunch date. We sat over food that I was merely pushing around on my plate, and we spoke about life. I unburdened myself. I spoke about my hurt, my challenges, losing my babies. He, in turn, told me that he was willing to give me his full support. He suggested that I go for another IVF, this time with him as a sperm donor, but I refused. I told him that my heart was bitter. I had not healed from all that I had gone through. I had not healed from losing my babies, and I was even not sure if I wanted to put myself through all that stress again. My friend also had his own issues. He was now a widower, and he expressed a desire to be with me and pursue a fruitful relationship. This made me begin to have a rethink. Maybe I could just try once more. I mean, what could it hurt? This time around, I would not be alone. So maybe, just maybe, things could be different. This motivation pushed me to my second try. Again, I successfully got pregnant, and by the 12th week, my doctor tied my womb in a procedure known as cervical cerclage, in an effort to prevent any possible miscarriage from occurring. Everything seemed to be going on fine. I and my old school crush got married in a civil ceremony at 18 weeks. The world finally seemed to be on my side, till one day, 1 a.m., in the early hours of the day, I was woken up by this sharp, debilitating pain. Pain like I had never felt before in my life. It was so painful that I screamed and cried at the top of my voice. I was 21 weeks gone by now. So when the doctors wanted to give the news that the babies in my womb no longer had heartbeats, they gave the news to my husband. No one had the confidence to tell me that the twins were once again lost. I kept asking, what was the issue? What had happened? And no one could explain anything to me. Eventually, I was told, but I refused to believe them. I dragged my husband to 3 other centers for ultrasound scans which said the same thing. At the 3rd place, after receiving my result, I walked out into the parking lot before throwing myself on the ground. I didn't know when my hands began to tear at my clothes, my hair, my face as I screamed at the top of my lungs. Every single person in the center rushed to my aid. People could not understand why I was screaming, why I was begging God for forgiveness, saying over and over, God forgive me. please have mercy on me. Forgive me my sin. I know that I have sinned. God, please forgive me. They say I became manic. They say I stopped recognizing everyone, including my husband. They said I had to be physically restrained before they could bring me to the hospital. When I woke up, I told my husband that he had my permission to go. I knew what it meant to be alone, so I even encouraged him to take the bold step to leave me. I told him not to worry about what people would say or how I would feel. I absolved him of all guilt and told him he was free. He was free to go. This man looked at me. While I promised not to hold any action he took against him, by the time he reacted, I could not believe my eyes. He pulled me close into his arms, softly kissing my forehead. He assured me that he wasn't with me because of children. He was with me because he wanted me, and he was ready to stay by me through anything that life could throw at us. It took me 3 years, another 3 years of healing before I could even consider trying again. I had not totally healed in those 3 years, but I had been able to reach a point where I felt a bit more stable. So I spoke to both my husband and my doctor. I wanted to go for surrogacy. I was fully convinced that God would not let me have babies of my own. My sin was just too great. So maybe if someone else carried the babies for me, maybe. But my husband, he disagreed. He suggested that I try one last time. My doctor also suggested the same. He said that I had 3 embryos left, so why not try at least once more? I reached out to my spiritual father, and he encouraged me to look deep within my heart and follow its leading. My heart was divided. On one hand, I knew that God had it out for me because of the life that I had lived in the past. And on the other hand, I also wanted to give myself one more chance. The decision was a difficult one, but in the end, I went ahead with another IVF procedure. I stressed. I told everyone who was willing to listen that this was going to be the last that I would do. I stressed that after this, I would just probably adopt. I was done. I went through the process with fear and trembling. Even when I was told that I was pregnant with triplets, I kept my emotions in check and I did not allow myself to be excited. Even when my doctor told me that they would try their best to push me to 28 weeks when a C-section would be done, I stayed neutral, almost as if they were discussing someone else and not me. Even when he placed me on a weekly injection to prevent miscarriage, I stayed silent. Slowly, I scaled through the 28th week, and on the 31st week, my water broke. Fear and terror gripped my heart firmly, but I scaled through. The C-section was successful, and I was delivered of 3 babies. One was lost due to some complications which, though painful, was made easier by the presence of his siblings, a girl and a boy. I am now a mother of twins. Were my sufferings due to karma, or was it just life that happened to me? I may not know the answer to that, but this I know. Multiple abortions does not mean you cannot become a mother in the future. Yes, Do not be reckless, but also know that things can happen to anybody irrespective of their pasts. Also, God is not a wicked God. I was given gold out of the ashes of my pain. I am married to a wonderful man, and I'm now mother to 2 beautiful children. So as long as there is life, hope still remains. My name is Faith, and this is my story.
Hello, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. It's the reason for this is for you guys to learn from people's stories, their mistakes, their ups and downs, and to empower you to make the right decision. Don't forget, you are not alone in this journey. Infertility is a journey, but it has a destination. Don't lose focus on the destination. The destination is having your babies, so do not lose focus. Most importantly, make sure your mental health is key. I believe today's episode has worked well for you. Learn from it and please share, subscribe, and next week, catch you for another episode. I remain Dr. Global. Thank you.